There was a time when a pop star's perfume made more than her album. Britney Spears' fragrance made over $30 million a year in its peak. Paris Hilton has reportedly grossed billions. And Elizabeth Taylor's White Diamonds apparently sells one bottle every 15 seconds to this day. And for a really long time, celebrity fragrance was one of the biggest parts of the beauty industry. Every pop star had one. Every mall had a wall of celebrity fragrances. And then it all went quiet. But here's the twist. In the past few years, celebrity fragrances have made a comeback. We have Sabrina Carpenter, who is grossing hundreds of millions a year. Billie Eilish has an award-winning range of fragrances. Even Drake has a fragrance brand that is doing really well. So what happened? Why did the 2000s fragrances from celebrities disappear? And what are the celebrities today doing differently? So in this video, we'll talk about what separates fragrances that last decades and those that just disappear. We're going to talk about 5 things. 1, the golden age that built this industry. 2, why the category almost collapsed. 3, some of the celebrity fragrances we don't see anymore and that I miss. 4, the playback that brought them back. And 5, we will end with my list of my favorite celebrity fragrance brands. I'll give you my top 5. So let's get into it. Why do I love celebrity fragrance so much? First of all, I remember when I first moved to the US years ago. I moved from South Africa and I went to a fragrance store and I bought everything that I'd ever seen on TV. I got Rihanna's Rebel Fleur. Khloe and Lamar had Unbreakable Bond. I got that. Beyonce Heat. I just wanted like all of those smells. We had gotten like Britney's Poison and Fantasy and all of those, but I wanted like the stuff that was hot. There's just something about pop culture fragrance that makes something interesting and like you want to buy. Even JLo Glow, I love those fragrances. So celebrity fragrances have been a part of my life and I've always been fascinated with it. So let's talk about the golden age. Where did this all begin? A lot of celebrities have had scents, but we need to go back to 1991. Elizabeth Taylor and White Diamonds. Some would say that she created the blueprint for the celebrity fragrance. You take this mega star, they were like the real stars, you know, when you talk about A-listers, and then you make a unique scent. Apparently she was in the lab testing out the stuff, making sure that it was unique. It wasn't just like another scent. And you create this package that is iconic. People to this day know White Diamonds. And then you release it out into the world and it blew up because of her megastar power, but it was something that was also accessible to a lot of people with price. What she did that was smart is that I think she got a royalty instead of a flat fee, which is the best way to do it. If you're a megastar, you will make a lot of money. I know some people on the inside who tell me that's still the best way to do it. A lot of people want to own their fragrances, but what you want is like a great licensor who can manufacture it and distribute it and get you in all the doors. Anyway, Elizabeth Taylor got the girls together. And then we go to 2002, JLo, Jennifer Lopez, Jennifer LeBlanc with Glow. This is like peak JLo, you know, the look, hair, the bling, the whole thing, you know. Took that, it was almost like a belly chain type thing on the bottle, if I remember correctly. And she took the Elizabeth Taylor blueprint and she kind of modernized it. It was like a clean, fresh, citrusy musk and it broke records. And apparently the combination of the clothing brand and the fragrance brand raked in hundreds of millions, and that created kind of like the new blueprint that everyone else followed. Literally, the floodgates opened up. And then in 2004 and 2005, the legendary Miss Britney Spears. She gave us Curious in 2004, Fantasy in 2005. And that Fantasy bottle, you'd see it everywhere. I remember the ads growing up and it was like Britney and peak Britney, pop star, megastar, superstar power, and this gorgeous kind of like juicy fragrance. And it truly felt like the fantasy. You know how people say today, I want to live the fantasy? Like Britney really sold it in the bottle. And then from there, we had Beyonce's Heat, which did really well. Christina Aguilera had a fragrance. I don't know if it did that well, but you know, it was there. Taylor Swift, Justin Bieber, the list goes on. Mariah had those fragrances too, the candy ones. Sarah Jessica Parker as well. Apparently that does really well. So in that time, in those 2000s, smashing it because it was peak television monoculture era, and with the right licensor or licensee, I think actually, like Coty, Parlux, Elizabeth Arden, you would go to the moon. And that part that I said earlier is the key part. This is before social media. This is pre-Instagram. So you could really reach a lot of people through the main channels of television and radio and print. Specifically, television and print, you could create these fantasy worlds that people could see and could almost feel the smell of. And specifically, these celebrities were untouchable, and a bottle of perfume was one of the ways that could really like touch them, like get close to them. It was a way into the mystery and the magic that felt close enough but not quite there and still kept the fantasy alive. So for about a decade, celebrities were coining it in this model and the beauty industry as a whole, and then everything kind of changed. What happened? We're gonna talk about 5 things. Factor number 1, social media killed the mystery. I love social media. I mean, I'm on all the things. We're here now. YouTube isn't social media entertainment, but you know what I'm saying. Before Instagram, you didn't really know what a celebrity's life really was. You couldn't really touch them. You didn't know what they ate in the morning, what they smelled like, what they were up to. And then with Instagram, with people showing their everyday lives in order to be relatable and authentic, kind of killed the mystery. The bottle was the mystery from before. It was like a little slice of their life, and now you have their full life. Why do I need the bottle? And when they did show their life, sometimes they didn't wear the fragrance. So now you're like, is this really the one they love, or like what's going on? And I think once an audience could see the disconnect, it kind of shattered the fantasy. Factor number 2, in 2008, we had the financial crisis. And this is a time for some people where they tighten their spending on beauty. And while we love celebrity and the fantasy, it's maybe a luxury. And people are like, you know what? Love the scent, but I need to spend my money on other things. 3, the Sephora effect. Sephora changed what fragrance meant. Back in the day, you would go to a department store and smell some stuff. And then in Sephora, you started to see these niche brands alongside some designer brands. And you could just test things yourself right there without kind of like people hovering around you, without going to the department store. People got access to a lot more smells, and they didn't need the kind of celebrity allure anymore. Because I think Le Labo started in 2004, Santal I think early 2010s, correct me if I'm wrong, but now you're in Santal 33 land. Do I want to smell like a celebrity, or do I want to smell cool and niche? 4, Gen Z kind of grew up scent literate, if that makes sense. Like, I'm a millennial. For me, it was like body sprays, Axe deodorant, which I like, and kind of celebrity fragrances and designer. Gen Z grows up with fragrance talk, perfume talk, Fragrantica, like all of these places where they go deep into these niches. If you go to a department store, you'll see moms and their teen kids like buying like really niche perfumes, and like what's going on. It's just like a different understanding of scent, and the idea of a celebrity isn't enough to just sell something. And then 5, the fragrance industry just boomed, and the bottle became the object of desire. A lot of celebrity fragrances weren't that compelling like back then in terms of their look. I think some of them can feel dated, and now you have all these gorgeous bottles, status symbols, and people are like, do I want to put this one next to all my other like really cool things? And the key is that you have to be a really cool celebrity, and we'll get into why some of the brands today are doing really well. It's the celebrity star power is cool, but the packaging is really, really dope too. So before we get into who's smashing it right now, let's talk about some of the ones that have gone away that we missed. And let me know in the comments which celebrity fragrance brands you've loved over the years and that you'd want to come back. For me, Beyonce's Heat. Beyonce's Heat and those steamy ads is really gorgeous. It was very fiery, very sexy. I think you can still buy some of them online, but they're not like on the shelves as they used to be. Britney's Curious and Fantasy. Those are still in production. Those are still really, really good. But I think the cultural like heavyweight that they used to have is not the same. We need Britney back. We need Britney to make a comeback, and just maybe she should do a 2.0. I wonder if she still has a stake in that. I hope so. Justin Bieber. I think he had Someday and Girlfriends. I think related to the songs. I think they did a big push for those, but those kind of faded away unless they're still here now. Let me know. And ones that I did love, KKW, Kim's perfumes were actually really, really nice. It was the Gardenia one, which, you know, I don't like love Gardenia, but that one smelled really good. I think it's part of kind of her rebrand, but those bottles look good. The social media marketing was really cool. I wish those would come back. So those didn't make it, but some have got on because there's a new playbook to making it as a celebrity fragrance brand. And let's talk about that before we get into my list. This new wave is doing things differently. They're launching slower, so not rushing releases, and doing fewer products. I think of Billie Eilish, like she did number 1, number 2, number 3, and then I think the one that looks like a dice, taking it like really, really slowly. I think Sabrina Carpenter, the ones that look like a chocolate bar, I think she only has 4, correct me if I'm wrong. But back in the day, people would be cranking out those flankers, and it's like, girl, we only have so much money, like what's going on? So scarcity is the strategy. 2, they're working with master perfumers, and not saying that they didn't before, but they're actually putting the name of the perfumer out into the world. Before it was just like the celebrity. Now it's like the celebrity partnered with this great perfumer who's made all these other amazing things, and this is what we made. So the fragrance literate world, particularly Gen Z and like deep fragrance lovers, want to know what that creation is for a celebrity. A great example is Rihanna with that fragrance that I love, the blueberry. Some people don't like that one, but I think it's so good. It's so good. She worked with master perfumer Jacques Cavalier Beltrude, who I met. Let me find the picture for you. But he's the master perfumer for all the Louis Vuitton fragrances. So he's an in-house perfumer for the luxury brand, makes some of the most gorgeous fragrances. So he made one for Rihanna, which I really, really love. And people are like, oh, if she's working with him, this must be good. Drake's line was built with Michael Carby, who's made amazing fragrances. He's from Givaudan. Khloe Kardashian's fragrance, I think almost always, was made by Alberto Morillas, who I've also met. He's the master perfumer behind Acqua di Gio, CK1, a bunch of hits. He's incredible. incredible. You should also check out his line Mise en Terre. One of my favorite fragrances from there is called Ambre Magique. So nice. And if you want fresh, you must try the Eau de Gingembre. So good. Gingery, fresh. These are big fragrance names working with big megastars to create incredible fragrances. 3, the celebrities actually wear their fragrance and they show themselves wearing the fragrance. I don't know, back in the day, we didn't see the celebrities spraying the stuff. You know, we didn't see them spraying the stuff. You would see Rihanna spraying Fenty in her posts, Billie Eilish spraying her fragrances. Beyonce, y'all didn't give Noir and Say Lumiere the light of day that I think it deserves, but she sprayed it once or twice, you know. 4, they've really invested in the decor. Drake's bottle, which I have right here, is really unique. Sabrina Carpenter has the chocolate bars. Billie Eilish has a gorgeous bottle. Let me get it actually, one sec. I've kept this one in the box, but let me show you. Gorge, literally Billie Eilish in a bottle. Put Billie and Drake right there. I actually like Kylie's Cosmic. I think like it feels very high end and literally feels like lava, you know? And then they've really captured the scent moment. We're in our gourmand era and all of these fragrances, maybe not Cosmic, but in general, like really touch on where the people are with fragrance. So that's what they're doing right. So before I give you my list, keep that in mind next time you're buying a celebrity fragrance if you want to know if it's worth it. You want a really great fragrance, so it must be made with a great fragrance house or a great perfumer independent of a fragrance house. It must have a gorgeous bottle. We're fighting for shelf space. It must look really, really cool. And then I think if the celebrity wears it and you see a lot of people talking about it, go into the reviews and comments and see, do people actually wear this fragrance? I want to see a celebrity wear the thing that they're selling, because what are you even saying to me? What are you saying to me? So let's go into some that I really like. I'll start with Billie Eilish, number 2. Oh, that smells good. This is a woody gourmand. Cocoa, jasmine, sandalwood, award-winning. Some people compare it to like Santal 33. I think they're completely different. I guess sometimes the sandalwood idea gets into people's brains. I love Santal 33, by the way. But this has almost like a spiciness to it and a freshness that's a little bit different. I really enjoy it. I think it's great for layering. I think it's great for cold weather. And the bottle just looks really, really nice. 2, Rihanna's Fenty. Some people don't love it. I think it's really, really nice. I think the blueberry is gorgeous. I think it has a great kind of like patchouli musk together. And Jacques made it so, you know, it's really cool. And I wish people would talk about it a little bit more. They say Rihanna spent a long time developing it. She went to Grasse, which I've been to really kind of like learn about the ingredients and the manufacturing. And it's one of those fragrances that when she launched it, I'm like, this is cool. Like, it's unique. It's one of a kind. And Rihanna's known as one of the most or best smelling people in the industry, according to people that have smelt her. I have not met her, but that's one to add to your list. I really like Drake's Summer Mink. Also a woody amber. It's what all the people are wearing these days. But it also has a sage and a groundedness to it. And then a jasmine, spicy, and creamy musk. It's like very man, fur coat, but sweet. You know what I'm saying? Don't love the bottle on this, but love the scent. This is Say Lumiere from Beyonce. White floral, citrusy, musky, but it has this gorgeous rhubarb in there. It's really, really nice. While the first one had more of a honey note, the Say Lumiere, with the rhubarb and the spiciness and the citrus, it's like very juicy, very grown woman though, very grown woman. I just don't like this base thing. I think you could even just do it like that, just the bottle as it is, right? Yeah, I think so. And another one that I don't have on me right now, but is out and people are loving it in Ulta is XO Khloe by Khloe Kardashian. Floral, woody, peach, orange blossom. It's like very, very feminine. And it's highly rated at Ulta. Like people really, really love it. And I think it can stand on its own because it's just XO Khloe and doesn't have the Kardashian, which I know for some people they're like, oh, I don't like anything by them. But that product is so good. She ate that. I think you can wear that anywhere as a woman or even as a guy who likes kind of like more feminine smelling fragrances. And it has been called one of the best launches from a celebrity in a very long time. And it's a kind of bottle that people would put on their counter. So I think she did a good job with that one. So here we are. Celebrity fragrance is not dead. It just needed a refresh and a new playbook. So I hope in this video you were able to understand a little bit more about the rise and fall and re-rise of celebrity fragrances, understand how to buy a fragrance that you love from a celebrity, and then I give you a list of fragrances that you might enjoy, which I put the links down in the bio. So if you like this video, make sure you give it a good like, a thumbs up, share it, make sure you leave a comment, and most of all, subscribe if you want to see more. I have more coming.